first thing I did was I started looking up flights. If you look up Google Flights, you can get so many different flights with so many different discounts all over their internet. They gather all the information for you, and all you have to do is just choose. The best thing to do is probably choose the cheapest ticket. I know when I first decided I wanted to go to London, I was like, I'm going to ride first class. Thing is, if you don't have $5,000 to waste stashed away, you're probably not going to want to go on first class unless you get bumped up. Business as well, they're selling tickets for like $2,000 to $3,000, and it's like, you can just sit in the back like everybody else and pay your little $500 to $700, save a lot of money, and you're still going to get there just like everybody else. My next thing is to look for accommodations. Airbnb is a huge thing, but of course, if you're a cam model or a phone sex operator, you want to make sure you have the ultimate privacy. So make sure when you're looking for Airbnb or even a hotel, make sure you're carefully searching for important things that could possibly ruin your chances. Besides just nosy neighbors that can hear you through the walls. What I like to do is I like to soundproof my rooms. Sometimes you can roll up a towel and put it down by the door, play some music that's a little louder. Obviously, you can always test things out, listen to the walls, put your ear to the wall, make sure that there's no sound coming through on the other side so people can't really hear you. I specifically prefer corner units, and it's kind of hard to see if you can even get a corner unit, especially if you're using Airbnb. You don't get to decide exactly where the Airbnb is going to be, so you might not get a corner unit. But if you rent from a local, which is a lot cheaper than Airbnb, you can find a corner unit easily. I have one. I'm telling you, my neighbors cannot hear me. I can't hear them. It's perfect. It's perfect. The next thing is to try booking with a local. I know it seems scary, you don't know these people, but you'll be surprised. A lot of people are interested in renting out to tourists, especially if you're paying up a couple months at a time. They appreciate the cash, and you're buying into the local economy, so you're doing a good thing. One way you can do that besides asking around is to just use Airbnb. Rent Airbnb for 3 to 5 days a week. See if you like the internet speeds, if they're high for you, great. See if you like living in the area, if the Airbnb itself is comfortable, you have space, and nobody can really hear you, your neighbors are good. Try asking the host via email when if they're interested in renting long term. Say that, hey, I'm going to be here for 5 months, I'm going to be here for 6 months, 3 months. Is there a way we can work out a deal for both of us that makes us comfortable? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say absolutely. They don't like paying Airbnb's fees, no offense. And you're doing a good thing for them. You're giving them cash money, they appreciate it, so that could work out in your favor. Also, when you get inside of hotels and Airbnbs, look around, check for mics, check for bugs, check for hidden cameras. You can look in the chandeliers, you can look inside the TV, turn off all the lights, go to all the mirrors, point your flashlight inside the mirror, make sure it's not double back, make sure it's not a double-sided mirror. Check for doorbell cams. A lot of these Airbnbers, they want to see exactly in person who's coming up in their house. I totally understand that, but that can freak you out a little bit, especially if you're in the adult entertainment industry and you just don't want people knowing your business. Especially if you're an escort and you're bringing over clients to their home. Hey, that's another story. But hey, my thing is you paid and you respect their home by cleaning it, keeping it clean, leaving it the way you found it, and that's all you owe them, really. But sometimes they have the hidden doorbell cams. Sometimes they have a camera hidden in their driveway so they can see exactly who's crossing to their threshold. Be careful of that. Be aware. Ask the host, is there any hidden cameras or anything I need to worry about? When you get inside the unit, say it very, very loud and clearly. My name is so-and-so and such and such. I do not allow recording of my voice and myself. Say that. That way, if anything happens, they never have permission to record you, and that's that. My next thing is to ask the host how high their internet speeds are before you get there. The worst thing possible is to show up at a host's Airbnb. Everything's good, everything looks great. You got the entire place to yourself, and you log on to the internet and it is super slow. You can use sites like speedtest.net to check the speeds. You can actually message them. This is what I prefer to do. Message them before you get there. Ask them, hi, may I ask how high your internet speeds are? I work in the entertainment industry, or I work in marketing, and I would like to know if you have higher speed internet. Someone will even get a better package personally for you, especially if you're going to be staying there for a couple of months. So ask before you go. That way you're not shocked, surprised, or set up. I've had this happen before where I showed up after the person said it was high speed. I didn't ask them what the speeds were, but I said, hey, I work online. Is there a way you can tell me what your speeds are? We don't have our speeds, but we have higher internet. I get there and it's literally like 0.05 upload speeds. I'm like, this is not going to work for me. So after that, of course, I moved out and went somewhere else. Make sure you figure out everything before you even arrive. The next point is, how are you going to get around? Well, there's Google Maps. There's, you can take an Uber, you can walk, you can take a taxi. Another great app to use is called City Mapper. Now, every single city does not have it, but you have the option to vote if you're in that current city and you're finding it really, really hard to get around. Check out City Mapper app. It is amazing. It will tell you when your train's coming, when your plane is coming, when the next one is coming, how long you have until it comes. It's amazing. It tells you how to get around to the city. It tells you how to get everywhere quicker. You have different multiple ways of getting around with City Mapper. It's amazing. It gives you all the tea, all the shortcuts. Check it out. So my next point is to try and make friends. Don't be lonely. It can be very, very socially isolating. But here's the thing. If you're traveling, people already love you. They know you're down to earth. They know you're interested in culture, things like that, food. And a lot of locals are eager to be friends with you and to even show you around. And of course, if you're socially retarded like me and you prefer to stay inside, no, I'm kidding. You can always stay glued to your family and social media back home. When my parents are sleeping, when my family's asleep, as I'm 6 hours ahead of everybody, I just go online and I talk to my friends on Facebook and I talk to my friends on Instagram and I support my friends in their lives. There's a lot of things that you can do from being lonely while you're traveling. Try it. To expand on plane tickets, what you want to do to avoid any issues with TSA or Border Patrol is to make sure you have a round-trip ticket. Make sure you know what you're doing on your trip. Don't just show up with a one-way ticket and expect to stay 3 months, 5 months, things like that. They want to know, hey, are you going back home? We don't want you moving up in our country illegally, okay? So make sure you have a round-trip ticket. Now, I know they're very, very expensive, but what you can do is you can always cancel the trip back home. This is what I do. Sometimes I just don't even get on the plane, honey. I don't get on the plane. I just let it roll, honey. You know what? It is what it is. You got 6 months to make it back up again. So if you waste a couple $100, hey, you waste a couple $100. Most tickets, you can make them refundable, or you can cancel, and in the first 24 hours or 48 hours, they're willing to give you your money back. So make sure you have a round-trip ticket. Here's what I do. When it's my turn, I step up there. When they ask for advice, now don't overshare. If they didn't ask you to see your ticket, just don't show it to them. Don't say, I'm here for 6 months. This is what I'm going to do. No, they didn't ask you all that. If they want to see your forwarding ticket, show them your 3-week ticket, your round-trip ticket. Say, hey, if they ask, I'm here as a tourist. This is what I'd like to see. I'm staying for 3 weeks. Here's my proof. They see your 3-week ticket. They stamp you in. You can keep going. You don't have to say much more than that. What you don't want to do is pull up to a country with a huge 6 months worth of clothes and tell them that, hey, I'm only staying for 3 weeks. Okay. You also don't want to admit that you're staying for longer than your allotted time, okay? Just tell them, I'm staying here for 3 weeks. If they ask, They see where you're staying, they see your accommodations for 3 weeks. And then once you're already in the country, in the city that you've chosen, then cancel your return ticket, then cancel your, Airbnb, or expand your Airbnb for as long as you want. You do not want to alert TSA, you do not want to alert Border Patrol that you're staying longer. They don't know if you're trying to overstay, as people do that very often. And you want to respect the rules of the country, which is to leave in the allotted time. Now, some countries you can stay for 3 months, 90 days in, 90 days out. In the Schengen region, I believe that in Europe, and some countries let you stay for 6 months, like London. You do not want to say, hey, I'm coming to London for 6 months to a Border Patrol agent. You do not want to do that. So make sure you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and don't overshare when you're going up to TSA. Show them your passport, whatever they ask, and that is it. And ladies, when looking for the perfect Airbnb, be cautious, but don't be afraid. Don't feel guilty for being a sex worker. You have every right to live up in someone's house if you're paying them and they allow that. And you have every right to conduct your business in your personal space when you want, anytime you want, and who's going to check you. If you can, leave your sex toys at home. I had a very bad experience one time when I first started traveling, and I was going to Canada, and I brought my dildos with me, and Border Patrol pretty much laughed at me. They went through my bags. That never really happens, but they went through my bags that time. And they had a field day with it. So if you don't want to stand there and be humiliated for having a big ass white dildo or a big ass black dildo, whether you use it for whatever or not, they're gonna laugh at you, and you don't want to be the joke of the day. So this is what I do. I order all my dildos at the new place after I've already settled in. All my sex toys that I use, I order them after I've already moved into my Airbnb. Use if you're going to be at the accommodations for a while, or even 3 weeks, order something on Amazon. Keep it discreet. You don't want to alert anything to yourself or attract anything to yourself when you're traveling. Be very discreet. Leave the big dildos and things like that at home to avoid any embarrassment. So, or any, conspiracies that they might have about what you do for a living. So just be careful, have your back, ladies, and order those dildos at the sex shop in person or whatever after you get to your prospective country. Quick hot tip. Get an airport lounge pass, ladies. They're like $25 to $50. If you're looking extra cute that day, they might even upgrade you for free. You can go in there, you can grab a little drink and nurse it in your hand, freestyle, meet a couple of new potential clients that way. A lot of businessmen, they don't want to deal with all the craziness of being around everybody in the airport. So they slip off to the lounge, they have a drink, they relax, and they flirt with women. That's how you connect. So check that out. You never know, he might fly you to his city one day. Oh, and don't do the airport lounges that are self-served. Don't do that. Get the one with the actual bartenders. And finally, last but not least, leave the accommodations the way you found it. I found that getting great reviews from people that don't realize that I masturbated all over their shit. They enjoy someone who cleans up after themselves. Make sure the place looks just as good as it did when you got there. Literally, clean the dishes, wipe the surfaces off, rip the sheets and the blankets off the bed, place them nicely on the floor, place the towels underneath the sink or in the bathroom neatly on the floor, and do the hard work for them. They will leave you a great review. Most people don't really care what you do in their house as long as you don't destroy it. And make sure you respect their home in the sense of keeping it tidy, keeping it neat and tidy. That's it for the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, and you guys enjoy your day.